rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets...
G'day YouTube, another video on locomotion, and today it's all about level 3, the low gate skill positions and patterns within locomotion. So I have been out here shooting some content for my amazing locomotion course, Locomotion Flow. We'll link to that in the description below, and wanted to share with you just a few of the skills. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of skills in that course, but today we're going to focus on just a couple. The coffee grinder, the low bridge, the rotational L-Sit, and also a floor entry, a sweeping floor entry. And we're going to build that into a sequence for you to try at home. So let's break down each of those skills first in isolation, and then we'll start to combine them and make it an interesting flow for you to learn at home. Okay, so let's take a look at each element. We have here the backsweep. How do we do the backsweep? Pretty simple, guys. Need to take a broad step. We need to lower ourselves into this lunging position. As we do so, we spin, keeping our glute of the supporting leg over the supporting foot, and we spin for a full 360, like so. There you have it. Pretty easy, right? Boom, boom. You can use your hands on the ground for support. Boom. Oh, it's okay if you overbalance like that in the beginning. You will get better at it. Woo. Until eventually you can always return to that low squat if you need. Let's take a very quick look at the rotational L-Sit. I have much deeper tutorials on each of these skills in my online course. There is a link to that in the description below, but very quickly, let's just take a look at this rotational L-Sit. I like to point in the direction I'm going to go when I'm learning this skill to remember which way I'm going to travel. So if I'm going to travel to my right, I'm going to turn that inside hand so that the fingers are facing 180 degrees back the other way. This initiates my rotation. I then need to reach back so that my other hand places around shoulder width apart. When you're starting with this skill, you can put your bum on the ground to initiate the sweep out of it. So what we need to understand is what the leg mechanics do as well. So let's just take a look from the back. I'm going to go this way. So that first hand needs to turn around, and then I spin the opposite direction, reaching with my hand. You can put your butt down initially, but the goal is to keep it off the ground. And now just have a look at what the legs do. So practice that from that squat position to get a feel for the legs. And eventually you can keep the butt off the ground. And you have a rotational L-Sit. Now, for the purposes of today and this combination, we're only using half of that rotational L-Sit because we're mutating it with our coffee grinder. So let's take a look at our coffee grinder first, and then we'll look at how those two skills mesh together. The coffee grinder comes from breakdancing, I think. Requires one leg to go out to the side. The glute of the supporting leg needs to be in contact with that heel so you have balance. The hands go down in front and you initiate the sweep forwards under the hands, trying to keep that leg straight for effect. And then when we get under the hands, you'll notice we have to hop the supporting foot to create the circle effect with the foot and back to the starting position. And you can start to add some speed, like so. You can pay attention to keeping that leg straight, and also to create more space for the hip to rotate, you can get lower to the ground with the hands by bending the elbows. So what I mean by that is, notice the lower I get, the easier it is for my leg to travel under me. Just a tip there for the coffee grinder. Okay, let's join the rotational L-sit to the coffee grinder. So, starting from back on, I'm going to travel this way. Let's do it nice and slow to start. As this leg sweeps, I need to get my hands forward, and you'll notice that my leg is already under the hands. I'm going to jump and start my coffee grinder, like so. And that is how we join the two together. Let's take another look. We start the rotational L-sit, move forward as the leg travels in front of the hands. Boom, boom. And we have our coffee grinder. Have you subscribed yet? Have you? Seriously? Seriously? Please do it right now. Hit the button. Hit that subscribe button right now. Just kidding. I usually ask at the end to subscribe, but I thought today, hey, I'll do it earlier. So subscribe if you haven't. That way you stay in touch and you don't miss any amazing tutorials that I put out there. And also smash that thumbs up button. Just smash it. The finishing piece for this sequence is the low bridge with the QDR exit. Again, we have two things joined together here. So let's look at those two things separately. The low bridge to begin with, which belongs in the arching family, the bridging family, and also, go away, March flies here. In Australia, they bite and they hurt. Okay, so the low bridge, let's take a look at it. From the low squat, we need to place the hand behind us. I'd like to actually start the fingers facing toward me to encourage that rotation on the blade of the hand to get my rotation started. A good way to start the low bridge is just to start with these little half bridge circles, just to warm up. This is a good way to just get a feel for things. Common mistakes are to put the hands too far away. It's very hard to complete the rotation if you're too far away from your legs. What you need is to be a bit closer in so that you can shift the knees and hips forward. The more your hips get over your feet, the lighter the hands become, and the easier it is to get the rotation. Like so. It's just been raining here, so the grass is quite slippery. Be mindful of your surface because it does make these bridges a little bit more risky if you have a wet surface. But let's take a look at that rotational low bridge. Oh, getting a bit of slippage here on the grass, but that's the idea. So to get the QDR exit out of the low bridge just requires a different hand placement. We'll take a quick look at that now. So I enter my low bridge and I reach my hand over deeper with that external rotation. I take my step and then I can QDR over my elbow. So there's an elbow lever component to that exit. Take another look. Step and reach, like so. The way I learnt this one was from a headstand position, using my head. Hopefully that mic isn't getting too ruffled there for you, but I push forward, so in my mimic the low bridge position, but with my head as support, and then I just practice getting that elbow down, and on the other side, like so. And that will start to train your shoulder and elbow to achieve that external rotation that you need in order to achieve the QDR exit. The next piece of the puzzle is getting from the coffee grinder into the low bridge rotation. So if we take a look at that, it's quite simple once you know how. We do our coffee grinder. 1, 2, and now on the third, instead of doing the full rotation, I'm going to get my foot where it needs to be for my low bridge, my other foot where it needs to be for my low bridge, and I'm going to lean forward, getting my knees into that 60 squat position, my hips over my feet in order to start my rotation. Like so. So with a bit more speed, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. And that is how we connect those pieces together.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets...
Then it's just a matter of joining them all together into your sequence. And you have your back sweep, your rotational L-sit, into your coffee grinder, into your low bridge rotation with the QDR exit. So there you have it. I've only touched on each skill very briefly today. In my online course, Locomotion Flow, we really break down each of these skills and also focus on the required conditioning that you might need. If some of these skills are still out of reach, you can't find the positions, it may be that you need to work on your mobility, your conditioning. You will get that just from practicing the skills, but if they're really out of reach, you might need some ancillary work. So this is something I also cover in my online course. If you want something for free right now to get you started with locomotion, I have an ultimate lizard crawl guide with over 13 lizard crawl variations. You can check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. If you like this video, smash the like button. I've already said that earlier, haven't I? And don't forget to subscribe. That's twice. I've asked you twice. Please do it. See you in the next video.